Hello there. Welcome to Joy News today with me, MFA Akosia Adeti. The news is live here from our studios in Kokolmimble, Accra. We're also live on channel DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. Here are the headlines for today. John Mahama's journey to taking over the reins of government officially begins today with a visit to the Jubilee House and the inauguration of a joint transitional team. Also, widespread condemnation on a nationwide attacks and looting of properties following the declaration of John Mahama as president-elect. We'll hear from a security analyst. Member of Parliament for Nsawam Adredri, Frank Anodompre, asked President Akufo-Addo to pause the transition process and support Nsawam Adredri until collation is finalized and results declared. We've got these plus business sports in this bulletin. Please stay for details. Now, first in our bulletin, President-elect John Mahama officially begins his journey to assuming office today with scheduled visits to the seat of government and the inauguration of a joint transitional team. On Tuesday, he announced a 10-member transition team tasked with overseeing the smooth transfer of power from the outgoing administration. Former Chief Justice Julius Deborah has been named as co-chairperson of his team. Government has also named its side of the transition team led by Chief of Staff Akosia Frema Opare. Now let's speak to Maxwell Agbagba for more on this. Maxwell, I know that today, in a way or informally, starts the journey for President-elect. But what more can you report? First, we'll try and get Maxwell at some point, but first let's listen to the President-elect.
So on that basis, for us to meet and kickstart the process, we should be having a meeting this afternoon with the joint transition. It was important that I had this meeting for two things. First of all, is to congratulate him on the marking the picture. The administration of the female vice president of the country, that is to be celebrated. And then secondly, to assure him of my full support of my government over the transition process to make sure that the administration takes off the best.
Well, that definitely isn't the president-elect. That is definitely our president, Anadodan Akufo-Addo. And we'll try and bring you that footage at some point if we can. But, well, political scientist at the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Ansa Asante, has been detailing the task of the team. Let's hear that.
And especially post-election transition teams, because they have very critical roles to play. One of it is that through this exercise, we are able to get knowledge as to what exists within the public office, so that it arms the new government with information and data as to the focus and direction it can take. It also helps us to help the new government to continue to govern, making sure that you are very much aware of the priority areas of government, for which reason you want to begin from and then strengthen that area. It also highlights some of the key leadership priorities and set the tone for how the new executive should act. So all in all this process helps to ensure the quality of governance from the word go. So I am not surprised that they put up the creme de la creme of the government architecture.
Well, stakeholders are worried about attacks on some state institutions following the announcement of John Mahama as president-elect. The attack, allegedly by supporters of the National Democratic Congress, have been condemned by many Ghanaians. There have been attacks on NADMO head office, Ayawasu East Municipal Assembly, Collation Metro Mass, and also Kumasi Metro Mass, in Sawam EC office, and some key institutions. President-elect John Mahama has condemned the attacks on some state institutions and installations over the last 3 days.
Reports of attacks on state offices and installations. While it's unclear who is behind these attacks, I condemn them in no uncertain terms. These acts must cease immediately. As I said during my post-declaration speech, I urge the youth not to vent their frustration in criminal enterprise. Instead, they must channel their anger and frustration into the positive enterprise of resetting and rebuilding our beloved nation.
Well, security analyst Dr. Victor Doke wants a more robust approach to solve this problem.
So then, if the citizens know they are flouting the law, and then the law states, if you flout the law, this is what is going to happen, you'll be dealt with. Okay? Minimum force will be used in every circumstances to ensure law and order. I don't think it amounts to human rights abuses. Now, in cases where you have excesses, then you can talk about human rights abuses. But in all this, okay, I think you asked a question about how that affects our image internationally. Well, if we are not able to handle this well, I'm sure you've heard about the Global Peace Index. This is all the elements, the factors, characteristics that amount to what? The measurement, the successes of our peace, right, architecture, or the peace spectrum that can tell if we have dropped as we have from 51 to 55. So all of these amounts to it, how we handle these post-election violences. And for me, I'm saying that this should have been known. It should have been on the intelligence card of the security services so that they would have planned well how to keep what the various sister security agencies like they kept during the elections, post-election, how many weeks, how many months do we need to what keep that coordinated effort? I think that wasn't done.
Now, in the OT region, a group of young men and women believed to be supporters of the National Democratic Congress have invaded Kadjebi District Assembly on the suspicion that some items from the assembly store were being taken away on the orders of the district chief executive. My correspondent, Peter Seno, joins us with more. Peter, is this the real case on ground?
But the real case on the ground is that calm has been restored since last Monday, that the youth marched to the assembly to stop what they call stealing of items that were meant for residents in the district. And we also do know that they have gone to a centralized warehouse where the items that were brought as a result of government intervention to help farmers who had suffered from the drought that hit part of the region, part of the country, including OT region, were being kept. And so our understanding is that some efforts or attempts have been made to move some of these items from the warehouse. So the youth, according to my sources, have gone there to put some padlocks on the door so that they won't be tampered with. So that is what is the situation on the ground. And calm has been restored since last Monday.
Has the chief executive said anything at all concerning this issue?
Not at all, but off the records, I tried to get in touch with him to get his side of the story, but he has declined any comment on the matter.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Well, but the security is handling the situation quite impressively, as you have said, as you stated that calm has been restored.
Yes, I can say that the police are fully in charge. In fact, I saw a number of them on the ground on Monday. In fact, to just restore calm, and the approach was what others commended, that was what the police should do going forward. that they shouldn't be meeting these violent acts with with full force, such that it does not escalate. So I can say the police are on top of the issue here in the Kadjebi District. Calm has been restored since last Monday.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peter. Now, meanwhile, security personnel have been deployed to protect some government installations in the Ashanti region. It comes after some persons moved into targeted government installations to seize them after government lost power. Security analyst Dr. Jones Opokuwari has lauded the move, encouraging the prosecution of persons found culpable.
It's a pattern. The sociologists will tell you that we are the presence of a fact. And now you could see a consistent pattern in the number of, post-election deaths, okay, over the period. And once it's continuing, it is a fact that we are not doing something right. And for me, what we are not doing right is that we are not holding people accountable. Okay, we think that once it is a behavior en masse, it can happen and nobody can be held accountable. And over the period, there's evidence to suggest that we've not been able to, as it were, deal with those issues when they happen. So if I look at situations that happen in Techiman over the 2020 elections, up to now, we don't know where it's ended. If you even look at the by-elections that happen in Ayawaso and all those places, we are not able to really pin down perpetrators and drill them to the very core, whereby we can get them to be very accountable for their acts. So in that case, there is a culture of impunity that has built up over the period. And once that has built up the period, if we don't take care, it's going to be a pattern and it's going to be very repeated over the period. So I think that it all boils down to accountability, making sure that, look, people who engage in that, we get them, make sure that they face the full rigors of the law. And it serves as a deterrence for others who may be criminally motivated to do that in the future.
Okay. So,
well, on these developments, Nana Yaojima, my colleague, has been following the developments and joins us live with details. Nana, tell us really, what's the security arrangement so far?
So this morning, I've been to some of the installations in the Ashanti region. At the moment, I am at the Regional Coordinating Council. And before you get into the Regional Coordinating Council, there are some police officers stationed at the gate, and they will ask you your mission and, if possible, to provide an ID to show that you are indeed the person that you claim to be before you get access. And even before that, they will ask you of the reason why they should let you get into the Regional Coordinating Council to conduct any business here. So that arrangement is already in place. We understand that there are similar arrangements in other installations. For instance, the Kumasi Airport also have a security checkpoint that have been mounted there with some security personnel dispatched to that area. The Electoral Commission Office in the Ashanti region also have some security, and they've doubled the security in there to ensure that nobody with ill intentions.
Well, Nan, I hope that I have not lost you there, but if you can hear me, we're generally aware that the security personnel have general control. But specifically, have there been any arrests as of yesterday and this morning?
Yesterday, we understand that the police put out some a communication which said that some people have been declared wanted. These are people who have disrupted collation in the Tepa area. As of this morning, we are yet to get any confirmation whether these people have been arrested by the police, but we know that police are on manhunt for some people who continue to create violent atmosphere in some installations in the Ashanti region.
Well, also earlier, some government institutions and even markets were among targeted areas. How true is this?
Very, very true. Yesterday, the Kumasi redeveloped KGTR market had some people go in there to attempt or seize some keys to some offices within the market. And also, they took over the toilet facility within the market. It took military intervention and police intervention to ensure that calm is restored at the market. So it's very true, some people are going around. Even the Regional Coordinating Council has had its fair share. Some people came in demanding keys to some V8s that are being used by the region.
Thank you so much, Nana Yaojima. Please do follow that story. We'll come back to subsequent bulletin if there's any new development. But let's take you back to the earlier development with the President-elect John Mahama, who officially begins his journey to assuming office today with a scheduled visit to the seat of government and the inauguration of a joint transitional team. We're very much aware that the president-elect and the current president met, and my colleague Maxwell Agbagba, my star performer, is on and will give us details. Maxwell, what more can you report on this meeting that happened earlier?
Yes, Emma, so the president-elect arrived here at exactly 11 a.m. in his company, where the vice president-elect, Professor Nana Jane-Opoku-Agyeman, we also had the chairperson of the NDC's transitional team, Julius Debra, a member of the transition team, and chairman of NDC, Johnson Esiodun-Ketia, and other top officials. Now, from the side of the ruling party, were the president, the chief of staff, foreign affairs minister, Shirley Ayoko-Butwi, and other top government officials. There was a brief meeting behind closed doors before the president and the president-elect interacted with the media. Now, in his speech, the president said for the first time, Ghana has a female vice president, and it's something we should be proud of as a people. He assured the president-elect of his full support and cooperation during this transitional period. Now, John Mahama said the two teams are going to work together in the interest of Ghana for a seamless transition, and that everything that they will be doing will be done towards consolidating the democratic gains of the country.
Well, earlier we heard that incumbent member of parliament for Nsawam Adwejiri, Nodompre, has been asking that the president will put a hold on this transitional team so that at least their declaration for some areas would have been. But we'll come back to that. I want to find out whether the president made any comments on that. But let's listen to President-elect's speech during that meeting.
We had a very cordial meeting. At the time he called, he suggested 11 a.m. this morning to have the preliminary meeting towards setting up the transitional team. And that meeting has just ended, was very cordial. And I think we were very happy to be together. Mr. President has given me a brief on the security situation, both internal and external, and also a short brief on issues to do with the economy. Of course, the transitional teams will drill down further into these matters, but I am happy at the assurance he's giving us that we're going to work together in the interest of Ghana to ensure a seamless transition. And I believe that even after that transition, it will be necessary for us to continue to keep a channel of communication so that Ghana's democratic credentials are consolidated and we all work together in the national interest. And so I want to thank him for his time and to assure him that on our side we are very happy to work together, and we'll look forward to the successful work of the joint transitional team. I thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. There will be.
Well, Maxwell, if I still have you on, let's know whether the president-elect has got a schedule, at least for the inauguration of the transitional team. Well, unfortunately, I lost Maxwell. We'll definitely bring you that schedule if we have it. But however, incumbent member of parliament for Nsawam Adwejiri, Frank Anodompre, is asking President Akufo-Addo to suspend the transition process to prioritize support for the constituency. Now, the majority chief whip calls follows violence that disrupted the collation of results for the December 7 elections in the area. Let's speak to my colleague Collings Frimpong for more details. Collings, let me know exactly what the call is for and how persons are responding to this in that area.
Right. So this call follows the incomplete collation of parliamentary results as well as the presidential results in the Nsawam Adwejiri constituency in the eastern region. So yesterday there was even violence where some members suspected to be NDC supporters blocked roads leading to the Collation center, demanding that the EC should announce the results. So Frank Anodompre today addressing NDC supporters at Nsawam Adwejiri NDC MPP party office. He told them that the NDCs have destroyed their pin sheets, but for the MPP, they have the entire pin sheets of theirs. So the EC has informed them that Friday, God willing, they are moving the coalition to Eastern region to complete the coalition there. And the EC has been demanding for security, improved security there before they can do that. because according to Frank Anodombre, the moment or since election ended on Saturday, the moment they start doing collation, some tax that he believes comes in, asking the EC to declare the NDC parliamentary candidate, Philibert as the parliamentary candidate or the parliamentary elect, MP elect for Insawam Adwa. So, speaking or addressing the supporters, Frank Anodombre stated or called on President Akufo-Addo that as a way of showing solidarity to the people of Insawam and other 3 parliamentary seats that are yet to be declared in the constituency, or in the eastern region, to whom is included, Akotia is also included. President Akufo-Addo should halt the transition process, which is beginning today, in a way of showing support. Let's listen to the press conference or the address that he provided.
Okay.
Constitution no John Dramani Mahama over years. In Chamoyo Margin said, so Amunya 183 members of parliament and no one 2/3. Eddie another term, Eddie. Alpha, and you never finish. Now, it's a job for a waha. Munjin crying from Komaya Man Penny or Tia Kunyaso. The who is a job for a waha. Miss Ramo, your catch, your man Penny or Tia Kunyaso, His Excellency Nana Adudan Kwekufado, Uboli Nidia Kwanso. Unya handing over power. You are still the President of the Republic. Yedim sa chobe umahanyedi. Binyame sremo muntie masam. Yedim sa ya papa Akufo-Addo. Free ni mranti boyim. Ejuma waye mranim ejuma. Waboni pa bebre ho ban. Wona ye ku omo, wona ye ju omo japade, wona ye chinchim omo nsa, wona ye ku omo. Say Juma, a renowned lawyer and a dedicated human rights activist. Sanoma where you know, and Pempe, why you dream, Mama Hanya Di, Miss Remo.
Well, it looks like that transition team is nearly going to be inaugurated and the process has already started today already. But moving on, collation for both Ablekuma North and Okankwe Central has been sent to the Regional Collation Center after party supporters disrupted the process on Sunday. So far, Okankwe Central has been resolved with results declared in favor of the NDC's Baba Sadiq. The NDC candidate Irabna Obin has also been declared winner for the Ablekuma North parliamentary seat. James Aveji has more on this.
All of the chaos here at the EC Regional Coalition Center has come to an end. The day has been marked with chaos after chaos. Distracting the process was NDC party supporters breaking glass windows to the EC's Collation Center. In the midst of the final chaos, the EC returning officer has been set to declare the NDC's candidate as winner of the election. Our cameras could not capture that declaration nor any figure mentioned of the two sides as to what the NDC and the NPP have got from the coalition. And I must also put on record that the entire 281 polling stations have not been fully collated. As at the morning, only 219 have been collated, and that is the figure the EC have been said to use to declare the result. We can hear from the NDC candidates.
The NPP candidate would have conceded honorably for the sake of the people of Ablekumanov, for the sake of the peace we have in this country and what we need. But sadly, it has to be this way. However, I just want to express my greatest gratitude to the leadership of the party, National Democratic Congress.
But the NPP candidate, Nana Ekwia Efrie, has been rejecting the declaration.
We won by 411. She got 34,199. And we had 34,610. And these were the figures we had. We are not going to accept it. We are not going to accept it. Thank you.
The NPP regional chairman, Divine Agohome, says they will take a final decision on the next step forward.
We'll get back. We are going back into our meetings today, and then very soon, by tomorrow, we should be able to, have a clear direction.
From the EC Regional Coalition here in Accra, my name is James Savaji, reporting for Joy News.
Well, also following up on that story would be the Okankwe Central that has been declared in favor of the NDC, as you may have heard. The incumbent MP, Patrick Brahma, also indicated that he was going to also seek redress or contest the results. But also, Member of Parliament-elect for WAEC, Superintendent Peter Tobu, says President-elect John Dramani Mahama represents the hope of Ghana, through which the people can realize their dreams and aspirations. He notes that Ghanaians suffered the pain of bad governance for 8 years under the NPP. Rafiq Salam reports.
Following his success in the December 7 elections, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchene Tubu will have another bite of the pie in the 9th Parliament of Ghana. He polled 25,497 votes against his main opponent, James Kirfate, who garnered 10,235 votes. Addressing campaign team members, women groups, and some ward members of the party at Ponyentanga, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchene Tubu congratulated President-elect John Dramani Mahama, his wife, Lordina Mahama, and the top hierarchy of the NDC for working to achieve a landslide victory for the party.
I want to thank His Excellency, the President-elect, President John Dramani Mahama, for the motivation, the encouragement, and letting us believe in his leadership and his vision to reset Ghana. I stand here today proud to have a President-elect who represents the hope of this country. The President who is coming to ensure that Ghana is reset in a proper manner so that we can put Ghana on the path to transformation.
Whilst urging the various ethnic groups in the constituency to see each other as one entity and the other's keeper, he admonished them not to involve themselves in any form of violence, which he said will not give them any good image.
No violence, I repeat, no violence will give us any good image. Let's remain calm and have trust and confidence in the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama that come 7th January 2025, when he takes over the reins of this country, all of us will come together to support him to succeed. Because in the National Democratic Congress, we always say we have the men. And when I say we have the men, I mean we have the men. Our men are not like the Goro boys that we had for 8 years, who have turned this country into a very useless tool. And we're attracting insult from all over the world. It's embarrassing to have a government of this nature. But we suffered the pain for 8 good years because that is democracy. You will have the best, you will have the worst, you will have good ones. But at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to make a choice. We've chosen again. I've made a choice for an experienced driver, a humble gentleman, a man who knows what to say. He knows the road. So we are going by somebody, let's go with the man who knows the road.
A former Wawa District Chief Executive and a member of the campaign team, Adamu Dasana, urged them to close their ranks and seek forgiveness from persons they may have hurt during the campaign.
God will not give you food just to go and find it on the road lying down. God passes it through somebody, and that is what he has done. And the food or the person or the people that God has passed this food through is the people who have voted for us. Let us respect each other as people.
NDC West constituency chairman Matthew Vary was grateful to the electorates for voting massively for John Mahama to return the party to power, assuring them that they will not regret that decision.
We are very grateful to you all, people of West, and we think that the victory is not about the campaign team members, it's not about Honorable Peter Lenchini, it's not about John Dramani Mahama. The victory of today, we are standing this morning, is about Mother Ghana. These two people will join hands together to rescue Ghana, Mother Ghana from where the level at which Dr. Bamian and Nana Adodankwa have moved us to.
West Women's organizer of the NDC, Jennifer Osman, on their part, commended President-elect John Dramani Mahama for choosing Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman as his running mate, arguing that she is not in doubt that the massive support shown to the NDC in the polls is as a result of a nomination the Victory Party held at Poyentanga will be replicated in the other 17 wards in the constituency. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Poyentanga.
Well, away from the elections, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has disclosed that delays in the release of funds from the Ministry of Education are affecting the timely completion of post-examination processes for the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examinations. WAEC reveals that though the marking of essay and practical components has been completed, the scanning of objective test cards has stalled due to the breakdown of scanners. Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Anti, has been explaining the implications of delay in releasing the results.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers.
Morning.
I think that throughout this year, we have seen WAEC complaining bitterly about the lack of funds to run their activities. One thing that we need to understand is that WAEC always have a plan. They have their timelines in terms of when they conduct these exams. It happened during the BEC period where there were even rumors of a possible postponement because the amount of money that WAEC needed at that time was not had not been released to them. I remember during those discussions, the majority chief whip, I think Honorable Anodonpre, even came out to indicate that government have released certain funds to WAEC. It happened after the papers were written. I remember indicating that the money that had been released to WAEC would not enable them do their post-examination activities, and exactly what we are experiencing now. What this means is that if the money WAEC is demanding now is not released to them, it is going to make it difficult for them to finalize their results and release it for the subsequent activities to be undertaken, especially looking at the calendar of the various tertiary institutions. And I think that is very unfortunate.
The University of Ghana School of Law has recognized lawyer Bernard as we'll bring you that story shortly, but also let me just bring you that story. Lawyer Bernard Owusu-Chumesi with the prestigious Legend Award for November. The monthly honor celebrates alumni who have been outstanding contributions or who have made outstanding contributions to their institutions and the nation.
Speaking at the ceremony, Kwame Awaji, on behalf of Professor Raymond Atuguba, highlighted the significance of maintaining strong ties with the school's alumni community.
We said this because there were a lot of people that were qualified. But when we dig further, we realize that lawyer Bernard Owusu-Chumesi has really practicalized what we call entrepreneurial skills.
Lawyer Bernard Owusu-Chumesi, the legend of the month, praised the University of Ghana School of Law for creating a platform to honor its alumni while inspiring them to give back to the institution.
Especially in this game for
Apologize for that, but we definitely will bring you that story as and when we can. But you're watching Joy News today. We'll go for a quick break. We'll come back with business. Please stay.
Welcome back to Business on Joy News today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Ghana's economy grew by 7.2% in the third quarter of 2024, according to the provisional figures released by the Ghana Statistical Service compared to the second quarter of 2024. The economy grew at 6.9%. The services sector continued to be the largest of the Ghana's economy. There is more with this report.
Earlier reports, and even this is based on earlier reports, and even the Bank of Ghana, which had argued that fears about the outcome of the elections had played a role in
We'll bring you that story subsequently. Now, the Ghana city could be one of the biggest beneficiaries as a result of the smooth general elections. There is more in this report.
On earlier reports, and even the Bank of Ghana, which had argued that fears about the outcome of the elections had played a role in the city's depreciation earlier this year. This is because there were concerns about whether this election will be that smooth, and even concerns about transfer of power going forward. However, events over the past 3 days have dealt with this challenge. This could result in the city's gains sustained going forward. It has also given some assurance to investors and the donor partners about the maturity of Ghana's democracy, and therefore there is no need to panic. It has also given some assurance to investors and the donor partners about the maturity of Ghana's democracy, and therefore there is no need for these investors to panic. Joy Business engagement with some of these investors indicate that Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's move to concede defeat has also been very helpful. A lot will be watching the foreign exchange space as well as the Ghana city to see whether these gains will be consolidated going forward.
Now, moving on, hotels in the country have been collaborating with government and other stakeholders to improve their business climate to attract more tourists. This is aimed at making the country gain more from its potential as a tourism hub. General Manager of Kadjebi Gold Coast Hotel, Hannah Bakov, disclosed this to Joy Business after celebrating the Christmas tree lighting ceremony of the Accra Hotel in Ghana.
Although Ghana's hotel business has seen a significant boost due to the tourism potential of the country, many businesses see more opportunity to explore as the economy expands. According to the General Manager for Kempinski, Hannah Bakov, industry players will continue to engage government and stakeholders to make the sector more flexible for growth. He has been speaking with journalists during a tree lighting event by the hotel.
We're working very closely with the authorities, we're working very closely with the ministries, and we support each other. Not only us, also our colleagues in the other hotels. I think Accra, Ghana has fantastic opportunities. There's a lot of excitement coming up. There's so much demand for Ghana. And we work hand in hand.
The tree lighting event by the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel also marks the beginning of its 10th anniversary. Chief of Protocol at the Office of the Gaman Chair, Ambassador Sylvester Parker Alote, praised the hotel for its contribution to the beautification of Accra as a capital city.
To celebrate a decade of excellence by Kempinski Hotel Gold Coast City, congratulations to the entire team for 10 incredible years of raising the standard of hospitality industry in Ghana. The dedication of your staff to service to the community through various social corporate responsibilities which they have undertaken, and innovation which the hotel has put in place, including the tree lighting ceremony each year, have all made lasting mark on our capital city and our country.
Some patrons were entertained at the event to usher the general public into the Yuletide.
That's all for business. We'll be back with more news after this break.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi, and Ghana's African Games medalist, Kadjebi Evans Yamwa, will be graduating on December 14 after his school, the University of Central Missouri, decided to take up the cost of his school fees. Following a report by Joy Sports, Kadjebi Evans Yamwa was told by the school that his scholarship for his last year in school had been taken away from him, and he needed $12,200 to settle the school fees so that he could stand the opportunity of graduating. And following Joy Sports' report, that suggested that the boy was not in a position to be able to pay the fees. The school called him up into a meeting and decided to take up the cost. He's been speaking to Joy Sports and thanking Joy Sports for leading this conversation.
The good thing is that my management up here, that's the athletic director and the university president, saw the video and then called me up for a meeting to figure out a way to help me out. This meeting happened like November 18th, November 20th, and we all sat down to analyze what's going on, like how best they could help me. And it was just a break in information, like the chain of information, the chain of command wasn't really clear. It was the failure of one part to inform the rest of the stakeholders. So that's how come the top management didn't know about my situation. So they were all surprised and they decided to help me out. So they promised to pay my tuition, but I know people just make promises and don't fulfill it. So I was just hoping they carry through, which indeed they did. So I'm here today to inform you that my tuition has been paid off and I'm scheduled to graduate this Saturday, 5:30 p.m. So yeah, my management has paid my tuition off, and I just wanted you to know and express my profound gratitude for you leading this conversation, spearheading this interview and all that, and trying to provide solutions to whenever this situation came up.
UEFA Champions League football returns tonight, and the likes of AC Milan will be in action. Liverpool, they won their game against Girona yesterday to continue their unbeaten run in the competition, and Carlton has 18 points sitting at the top. So these are the fixtures for tonight. There is Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. Lille will come up against Sturm Graz. There's also Arsenal versus Monaco. Borussia Dortmund will be at home to Barcelona. Benfica will play Bologna. Feyenoord will come up against Sparta Praha. Juventus will play Manchester City. AC Milan will play Sevilla, and Stuttgart, they will play Young Boys. So these are the fixtures for UEFA Champions League football tonight. Head on to myjoyonline.com/sports to read some more sports stories. Thank you very much for your time.
Let's bring you some world news now. First on, Sudan's military has been accused of carrying out an airstrike on a marketplace in the western region of Darfur, in which more than 100 people are reportedly killed. Clashes have intensified in different parts of Sudan in recent weeks between the army and its former ally, the preliminary report or rapid report forces has reported. Now, both sides deny carrying out war crimes during their 19-month power struggle that has caused the world's biggest humanitarian crisis and forced more than 11 million people out of their homes. Now, also, Zambia's top court has barred former President Edgar Lungu from standing for re-election in 2026. The Constitutional Court ruled that the 68-year-old politician had already served the maximum 2 terms allowed by law. Lungu was first elected president in January 2015 to serve the remaining 20 months of his predecessor's term. Lungu had argued that this should not count as he did not serve a full 5-year term, but the court disagreed, reversing previous rulings that had cleared him to run 3 years ago when he lost earlier last year. Thank you so much for watching today. Well, let me bring you another story. A Russian missile attack has killed at least 8 people and injured another 22, including a child, in Ukraine's southern city. As many as 5 people may still be trapped on that rubble after Tuesday's strike on a private clinic at residential buildings in the city center, police say. Overnight, rescuers pulled out 2 women from the wreckage. They are now being treated in hospitals. A search and rescue operation is continuing. Thank you for watching. Join us today with me, MFA Akosia Adati. There's so much more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Please get ready for Marketplace.